Hello everybody, welcome back to Appalachian Bonsai. I have several dead trees here on the bench. What happened? So this year has been a strange year for me, for my garden, for my trees, for this channel, for a lot of things. And we'll discuss some of it. But most importantly, what's going on here with these trees? I have some of my best trees here that I've cultivated for many, many years. These two in particular I have had for 7 years now, arguably my best trees. This little maple here I've been cultivating for about 4 years to be root over rock, and this was the year it got into a pot. You all saw the video for this juniper recently. This viburnum was collected back in 2016, also 7 years in the making. It got a repot, 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 repot. It's all the same soil mix. It's the same soil mix I've used for a long time. I don't know exactly what's happening, but I do have some inclinations as to what it might be. It's hard letting go of trees, especially ones you've worked on for a very long time. It hurts your feelings. You've been trying for years and years to make them into something beautiful that yourself can appreciate, that others can appreciate, that you can appreciate, and then to have all of this hard work not be wasted, but to see it come to an end is difficult. Bonsai teaches us a lot of things, and patience is one of them. Suffering, regret, joy, elation, all of it. Loss. This is part of it. There's a bit of a joke in the bonsai world, if you're not aware of it. It's that if you're not killing trees, you're not doing it right. Not comforting words for sure whenever you have something like this happen, but it's certainly something to think about, especially at this stage in the game. Like, this tree it's always been so beautiful, so amazing. I've been so excited for this tree, so proud of this tree. This one here is the one that I did the thread grafting on, and this was the year that I was going to cut off the back end of it and remove that and have this graft take. It's swollen here, which means that this year, as it swelled some more, it would have shown me that it was grafted completely, and that's a shame. So that's gone. This one, having been worked on and had a hard life for many years, has met its final end, sadly. And again, it's tough to see these things go. So what I find interesting about this whole thing, this mess, if you will, is that all of these trees that are alive were also repotted, and they are also in the same soil mix. Nothing changed, and they're all thriving. They're all doing just fine. There was no delay in growth. They all came out at the same time. This one is even producing fruit, and I'm going to allow it to grow fruit this year because I'd like to see these berries turn red. It'll be the first time that I let any of my hawthorns do that. The deciduous trees are doing fine. Coniferous tree doing fine, and the other ones in the bonsai garden are doing okay. Why did the other ones fail is a question. I think I have an idea. Is it species related? No. This is an American hornbeam. This is an American hornbeam. They're roughly the same age. This one's been in a smaller container. This one's been a little bit larger. Same soil mix. Again, Trident maple. This one repotted this year. This one repotted this year. Both were healthy and vibrant at the time of transplant. This one's still alive and vibrant. This died. And yet again, viburnum. Possum haw viburnum, or black haw viburnum. This one dead, This one alive. This one's actually been in cultivation longer. So this is my dogwood, which you've been watching develop over the last 7 years or so, 6, 7 years. This was also repotted this year into this pot. And as you can tell, it's weak. It is extremely stressed. It does have leaves on it. It has been slow to come out, and the foliage is extremely small. We're talking maybe an inch at most, but most of them are within 3/4 of an inch or smaller, where they should be almost 2 inches long. Whenever I took this thing out of the pot and slit potted it into this container, I looked at the root system. This has been wet and damp, and the roots were rotting, root rot. And I didn't do major root pruning on any of the trees that you've seen, just standard repotting like we do. But the soil was extremely damp and causing a root issue. I transplanted this tree into this pot. It's the heat of summer, but it's just a slit pot, and I'm glad I have, at least at this moment. Putting it into this wooden container will allow the soil to dry out a little bit faster, preventing root rot. It's a tip that I picked up from Bjorn Bjorholm in one of his recent Instagram posts. I really appreciate that, and I hope that it does work. These ceramic containers don't breathe very well. Terracotta, being a type of ceramic, would do better than this glazed pot. Wood will do even better. I'm hoping that this tree survives, because again, it's one of the oldest ones that I've had in my collection that I am most proud of, and would hate to see this one go the same way as the other ones. We're gonna look at something else that came into my mind. Yeah. Another contributing factor may be location. So I moved into this property 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and am dealing with what I have. Over here are Doug firs or some other type of conifer that provides shade, but it's my morning sun that my trees are not receiving. And over here on the right side, it's a large maple and a ridge that provides shade for the evening sun, the western sun, which means my trees aren't getting much light. And even overhead, there are trees behind the camera that you can't see. So they're not getting as much sun as they can. That's a problem when you want the soil to dry out some. I have 2 streams on either side that converge just behind me, which means it's cool and it's damp. Also a contributing factor. So this is the area that I house my trees during the winter time. It is about 10 o'clock in the morning. The sun is out, but you can see how much shade is happening. They're not getting any sun. The tree right here blocks noon. There's a gap there, so they get sun from 1 to say 3 o'clock. And then the tree and the ridge over here block the western sun. Again, the convergence of 2 streams down here makes it very damp. It's damp in here right now. It's very humid. So they're not getting light. They're not allowed to dry out. A little cool. Many factors. Where they were placed during their resting period is to be reviewed and changed so that I can protect the trees that I still have left. It's never fun to have a tree die. And not just because you have poured so much of your life into it and years of work and practicing. It's that this tree would likely do just fine out in nature without intervention on the part of me as the bonsai artist, the collector. We can't speculate on what its life would have been. I know that the area where one of these trees came from has been bulldozed, so it would have died anyway, but it doesn't matter. It's just hard to see something that comes to pass in the way that it does, and it really hurts your feelings, and that's part of it. So this channel has been stagnant over the last several years due to my time going back to school and now teaching in school. That's going to continue for some time. I'm going to take a break from the bonsai channel for a while, though I will still continue to do some work for the North Carolina Arboretum and their curator Arthur Jura. I do enjoy doing that. Documenting my trees and my process seems to get in the way of my trees and my process. So I'm going to take a break from that for some time. I need to really connect back with it. And hopefully that will provide you, the viewer, the subscriber, with better content. And hopefully at a time I can do more frequent content. So don't give up on the channel just yet, but know that it's going to be a while before I come back here on my own. I do love you all so much for what you have done over these many years. It's not over, but it is going to take a good break. And I will see you whenever I come back on that end. So if you're willing to stick around, make sure that you subscribe. If you like this video, give it a good thumbs up. And hopefully go out there and enjoy your world and your bonsai and explore yourself and what life has to give. Thanks everybody. There's more to come.